everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Mentor Movement Podcast. I'm your host, Kylie Montigney, and I know it's been a hot minute since we last recorded an episode, but I'm so excited to be back. But today, we're doing something a little bit different. It's literally just me today, and we're diving into a topic that is a game changer for me, and I know for so many other people, which is podcasting. If you ever thought about starting a podcast, or if you're just curious about the journey of launching one, this episode is for you. I'll be sharing how I got started with the Mentor Movement podcast, why podcasting is such a powerful medium for mentorship, and of course, some tips and insights for those of you who might want to start your own podcast. So let's jump right in. So let me take you guys back to the beginning of my podcasting journey. I started it in April of 2021 when I first decided to launch Talk of Fame, which is the podcast you might know me from. And honestly, I didn't know where to start. It is a very big process, and I know a lot of people think of the same thing when thinking, why are some of the best ways to start a podcast? Because, every podcast is different and where you start. So I was inspired by my experiences with mentorship, like having my aunt work for a news station here locally in NEPA. Growing up with her, I always wanted to be like her, and I knew podcasting would be great off to get experience. And I wanted to create a space where I could amplify the voices of others, especially those making impact in communities like NEPA, New York, New Jersey, etc. At first, I'll admit, I was nervous like anyone else because I didn't think it was going to last that long. I thought it was just something to keep me busy during COVID, but of course, about 4 years later, we're still going. So I had no prior experiences with podcasting. I was a very shy kid, so, starting a podcast was something that I never thought I would do since I was very shy. But what I did have was a vision to bring important conversations on mentorship, career advice, and personal growth to listeners everywhere, whether in the US, England, or wherever you may be. And while there's so much I learned along the way, I wouldn't change any of it. Every journey is different, but the lessons you learn along the way is the best part. When I first started at 14 years old, I made all the classic mistakes, from technical hiccups to underestimating how much time editing and promoting would take. But each challenge was a learning experience. Fast forward to 2025, I've been able to bring on incredible guests like Giles Marini, Gabrielle Stone, Elias Harker, who you may know for Full House, and so much more, which I'm so grateful, and share stories that I truly believe will help empower and inspire others. And you might be wondering, why podcasting at anything else? I could be doing something in healthcare, media, PR. But what makes podcasting stand out? Why choose this format for mentorship? And there's so many things other than podcasting. And here's the thing, podcasting is personal. Is intimate. It's starting to become very popular in 2025. You're inviting someone into your world and give them a personal perspective of your daily life and into your ear. In fact, that's something pretty special if you ask me. With podcasts, you get to have a deep, real conversations, and those conversations resonate with listeners in a way that maybe a blog or a video can't, or maybe something in school. It's just you and your guest or your audience, connected through your voice, and that creates trust. Trust is a huge thing when it comes to mentorship, whether in person or through Zoom. You can be anywhere in the world and connect through many different ways. Podcasting also opens doors for access. It's free. You can listen to it anywhere and anytime. It's easy to listen while commuting, working out, or doing chores. You can possibly do anything you want while listening. That accessibility means that mentorship, career advice, and empowering others can reach anyone, no matter where they are. For me personally, I oftentimes listen to podcasts when I am maybe doing stuff around the house, doing work on my computer, working out, or just trying to relax. It's a big thing for me to listen to podcasts, maybe learn something new like true crime, sports, mental health, or so many others. There's so many podcasts I can do another episode on that I absolutely love. And for me, every guest I had on Talk of Fame, the Mentor Movement, or NEPA story has contributed something valuable to me and for the podcast, whether it was advice on career paths, overcoming obstacles, or just sharing their unique story. It's those conversations I'm truly grateful for to help others learn something new and what they go through every single day. Okay, so now let's actually get to the nitty gritty. I know a lot of you are probably wondering how you can start a podcast, and trust me, you can absolutely do it no matter how old you are or what circumstances you are in. So here are a few tips I picked up along the way over the last 4 years. Firstly, define your niche when you're trying to start a podcast. You need to figure out what your podcast will focus on and who your target audience is. Every podcast has a specific niche and listeners. If you're trying to reach maybe high schoolers, specifically maybe go for 18 to 25. For me, I knew I wanted to focus on mentorship, but there are so many different directions you can go with this. It can be career advice, personal stories, health and wellness. The possibilities are endless. Find what excites you, no matter what. Mentorship, true crime, it can be possibly anything you want. Do what's best for you. And secondly, be consistent. It's not always easy to keep up a consistent release schedule, but trust me, it's crucial. Whenever you release episodes weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, just make sure your audience knows when to expect new content. The more you post and the more you promote, the more listeners you get. Third, equipment and software. Now, you don't need a studio to start a podcast, and maybe like something like Joe Rogan. A decent microphone, a quiet room, and basic editing software like Audacity or GarageBand or CapCut can get you started. If you want something more professional, you can invest in better equipment, but don't let it hold you back. Start simple and then grow as you go. And if you are doing guest interviews, if you are that type of podcast and want to meet new people, preparation is key. And as someone who does guest interviews, I go on in advance to prepare and do as much research as possible, whether it's maybe previous guest appearances on podcasts, TV appearances, or just looking up their past roles if they're an actor to see what they are about, what key points they want to talk about. You want to make sure to craft meaningful questions that allow them to share their expertise and personal stories on an episode. Make it feel like a conversation and interrogation or hearing. The more comfortable your guest feels, the better conversation will flow. The last one is something that I still struggle with is promotion. Social media is basically your best friend here with how popular it is since the pandemic in 2020. Create buzz around your episodes, maybe making clips on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. There's so many ways you can promote. Engage with your listeners and don't be afraid to ask your guests to share the episode. No matter if you don't have a large following, any sharing helps. I know for me, I basically share episodes every day, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, or just regularly promoting any promotion, even though you feel like you might be a little annoying. Who cares? It's your podcast. If it's important to you, promote it as much as you want. So, of course, no journey is without its challenges, and podcasting is no exception, especially with technology. It's sound quality problems or equipment falling right before recording. It happens, or something coming up with scheduling. The key is to stay calm and work through it. Another challenge is balancing podcasting with my personal life, like school and hanging out with friends and family, or just taking time for myself. Life can be very busy, and sometimes it feels like there aren't enough hours in a day to record, edit, promote, and stay engaged with listeners. But this is where the passion comes. When you love what you're doing, you'll find a way to make it work and find time at your busy schedule to find and make time. Maybe it's whether you're editing, posting, finding guests, sending emails out. You'll make it work if you love it so much. One of the most rewarding aspects of podcasting is how it allows me to mentor others. Mentorship isn't just about sitting down with someone one-on-one. Sometimes it's about sharing stories that can make a difference in someone's life, even if they're miles away or even a different country. Whether I'm interviewing a guest or sharing my own experiences, I hope listeners walk away within each episode with something valuable and learn something new. No matter if you think you know everything, there's always something new to learn, no matter if you're in a career field or trying to get into it. you learn something new every day. As I look ahead, I'm so excited about what's next for the Mentor Movement podcast and in the next few episodes. I have some incredible guests lined up in the next few weeks and the new things I'm exploring. As Empower Girls is evolving, you might stay tuned on our social media to learn that as our Roots of Hope, I'll do a separate episode discussing of Roots of Hope. I can't wait to keep this conversation going with all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you guys took something out of this episode. And if you have any questions about podcasting, mentorship, or anything else, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys may have. And as always, remember to keep inspiring others, keep learning, and most importantly, keep mentoring. Until next time, take care.